For the foreseeable future, Parliament will still be operating on a hybrid system, with many of its sittings being held virtually. The fire, which tore through the precinct on Sunday morning, the 2nd of January 2022, gutted the historical Old Assembly and the National Assembly buildings and left parts of the heritage site completely unrecognizable. Parliament says much administrative work has been done to get the institution back to where it needs to be.
Much ground towards restoring the function of Parliament and support for its business has happened during this year of 2022, since the fire broke out on the 2nd of January. A great amount of time was invested in the multidisciplinary technical expert assessment of the damage caused, particularly to the structure, and the quantification and cost of the damage. With the completion of this process, which took approximately 7 months, the National Treasury, through the medium-term budget policy statement, was able to provide about 118 million rand towards ensuring business continuity of Parliament and 2 billion rand towards rebuilding cost.
While these corridors were nearly completely desolate last year, the familiar faces of parliamentary staff are slowly making their way back. For many of these staff members, it was hard to digest these images. Having spent large parts of their days here at this historical site, it became more than just an office space.
Most of us spend a lot of time here, many nights, late nights, you guys know, Nkandla report and many other debates that kept us up here, late up here. So it's really for our members quite sad. And relationships were formed here, friendships were formed here in that National Assembly.
It's quite distressing, it's very sad. It's a very emotional time to actually witness with your own eyes the office that you have spent about 5 years here working here in Parliament, 5 years of the 15 years or 16 years that I've been here. It's not easy to see an institution of this nature going down like this.
For weeks, parts of the precinct considered to be a crime scene were cordoned off. An investigation was launched into the cause of the fire. The buildings were handed over to the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, the Hawks. The Department of Public Works also conducted an investigation. A 10-member panel of experts, including a fire expert, conducted an assessment for the department. Parliament has said the disaster set the institution back by a decade with the destruction of technology and broadcast infrastructure. This infrastructure was key to enhancing Parliament's public access processes, especially during COVID. Over the last year, Parliament had to find alternative venues and instruments to conduct its constitutional mandate. The City Hall in Cape Town has since been used as a venue for the State of the Nation address, as well as last year's medium-term budget policy statement. It was here at the MTBPS that Finance Minister Ina Godongwana announced a financial injection of 2 billion rand from National Treasury to assist with the securing of a temporary alternative venue.
With this provision by the Minister of Finance, we will now be securing a short to medium-term alternative accommodation for the sittings of the National Assembly while embarking on the structural repairs or rebuilding of the damaged National Assembly chamber, the offices, as well as the parts of the old Assembly building in the new year. We were well trained by the COVID-19 disruption of 2 years to ensure business continuity amidst a crisis situation, and Parliament has ensured that there was minimal interruption in its work.
The Kuga Development Corporation, which conducted the assessment, estimates it will take around 3 years for the parliamentary buildings to be restored and fully functional again. Some good news that emerged soon after the fire was that many priceless artifacts and other valuable items were saved. Many of these items are symbolic of South Africa's history and journey to democracy. These include the mace, a symbol of the authority of the National Assembly. The mace was designed to reflect the history, traditions and diversity of the country. It would have been difficult to recreate. The Kaiskama tapestry is another priceless item that's been packed away for safekeeping. The Parliamentary Library, which has many historical books dating back to the 1800s, and the Art Gallery, which houses a range of artworks and heritage objects, remain untouched by the fire. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.